The story begins with a spaceship which was falling down from space at a very high speed, and then we see that the spaceship fell into a pond. After this, two human-like people wearing spacesuits came out of the spaceship. One man dragged his unconscious partner out and then went to sleep himself, after which he started seeing glimpses of the life he spent on his planet. After some time, when he opened his eyes, he saw that his unconscious partner had a terrible wound on his chest due to which he died. Then he heard a voice from his computer present in the pond. He immediately took out the computer and tried to find information about this place from it. Then he found out the location of the rest of the spaceships, but the computer told him that there is no other spaceship nearby at the moment. Now he got a little disappointed. Well, then he connected a wire from the computer to his eye, after which all the history of this planet, the people, animals, languages and all the information about living conditions reached his brain. After this, he took out his gun and started practicing shooting. Then in the evening, he dug a grave for his dead partner and buried him. Now this man's mission, he had to get out of this dense forest safely with the help of only his gun and go back to his planet. After walking for a long time, he reached in front of the corpse of a huge whale and he understood that this was not the work of any human being. He saw that he had reached a village, but that entire village was completely destroyed in some terrible accident. Then he realized that someone was keeping an eye on him and he immediately ran away, but soon a horseman was after him. He attacked this man and made him unconscious, and his gun also fell into the river. Now this man was taken captive in an unconscious state and brought to the village of Vikings, which was surrounded by wooden walls from all sides. After this we see the king of this village, Hrothgar, who was practicing sword fighting with his daughter Freya. During this time, Freya told her father that she would never marry Wulfric. Then suddenly by mistake, Freya's shoulder got hurt and the king bandaged her. Then Wulfric came there, but after listening to his strange words, Freya did not stay there for long and went out. Well, then Wulfric informed the king that there was a terrible attack on the nearby village. The whole village was covered in blood, but they did not find a single corpse there. After this, they caught a man, but he did not seem to be from this area. Then we see that the man was made a prisoner and made to stand in front of the whole village, and everyone was watching the spectacle laughing. Well, then Wulfric dragged that man into the room for interrogation. Wulfric asked his name, then the man said that his name was Keenan. Keenan lied to him that he had come here from the north to hunt dragons, but no one believed him. They did not believe it because they thought that Keenan was behind the destruction of the nearby village. Now Keenan tried to escape from there, but the Vikings were very powerful. Later, when he was alone in the prison, he tried to break his chains with a very hot iron rod, but then Freya reached there. On the other hand, the king asked Wulfric about Keenan, but Wulfric told that no specific information has been found so far. Then the king asked him to find the king Gunnar of the destroyed village so that he can explain to him that we have no hand behind the attack on their village. Wulfric was not ready for this at all because Gunnar had killed his father, so he hated Gunnar. The king explained to him that all this had happened due to your father's negligence and it was not Gunnar's fault. Freya and Keenan were together there, so Freya asked him whether he had attacked the nearby village, but Keenan clearly denied it. After this, suddenly he freed himself and attacked Freya and the guards and defeated them and ran away from there. Now Keenan was running at midnight, but suddenly there was an announcement of enemy attack. Soon the army of his village came to the battlefield because they thought that Gunnar was going to attack their village, but after coming out they were all surprised because there was no one there. They realized that their enemy was none other than a very dangerous animal which had already entered the village and started killing people. Now Keenan also ran after this animal. He went in front of the animal and called him Morven, and then it is revealed that he had come to hunt this dragon. Now Keenan was about to attack him. Then at the last moment the soldiers caught him again and tied him to a stone. Then he remembered his planet again when the army of Morvance attacked his planet and Keenan could not save his people. Well, then the next day we see that a small poor child gave a small part of his bread to Keenan. On the other hand, the villagers were trying to find out which terrible animal had attacked them last night. Then, he said that if they did not stop Morven right now, then the same situation would happen here as happened with Keenan. When Wulfric informed everyone that a lot of corpses had been found around, he said that they should form small groups and search for Morven in different directions, but Keenan said that it is better to stay together, but the king did not agree and said that pairs of two people will go in different directions. When the king and the commander named Boromir went on their way, suddenly a horse's severed head fell in front of them from above. The other soldiers found rotten corpses outside a cave, and then a horrifying scene came in front of them. They heard someone screaming from the cave, and the rest of the army also reached there, and they all immediately entered the cave where they encountered a savage bear. The entire cave was filled with heaps of corpses. These were the people of the same destroyed village, so everyone thought that this bear must be behind all this. They attacked the bear and finally Keenan killed him with his sword. Then the king, pleased with Keenan's bravery, released him from his captivity. After this, in the evening, the whole village celebrated the bear's death. Keenan also joined this celebration dressed like a common villager, and everyone welcomed him with open arms as soon as they saw him. And the king made him sit with him and fed him food. Then the same poor child came in front of Keenan who had given his share of bread to Keenan. To return his favor, Keenan gifted him his sword. Then he asked the name of the child. He said that his name was Eric and his parents had died in a battle. That is why now all the villagers together took care of him. After some time, Wulfric challenged Keenan in a game. Then some soldiers sat down with shields on their heads and the players had to reach the end by walking on the shields kept on their heads. Poor Keenan stumbled many times and fell on the Boromir. But Wulfric did not make fun of him, rather helped him stand up. Finally, after the celebration was over, Keenan came out of the hall. Freya came to meet him. She thanked Keenan because he had supported Freya's father on the forest mission. But Keenan said that the truth is that the animal that took people's lives was Morven and not a bear. And he can come back at any time. Then suddenly we see that Gunnar's army attacked their village. There was a fierce sword fight from both sides in which Keenan and Freya also joined and they killed many enemies. Here Gunnar had surrounded the king and he was about to finish him off, when Keenan saved the king's life at the right time. Now before a fierce fight between Keenan and Gunnar took place, Gunnar's soldiers pulled him back because they knew that Gunnar would not be able to stand in front of Keenan. Before leaving, Gunnar abused the king and blamed him for the destruction of his village. Well, after the fight was over, Freya told Keenan everything about Gunnar. Many years ago when Wulfric's father used to be the king, he planned to attack France by gathering all the nearby villages. But at that time Gunnar did not reach there on time, due to which he was considered a traitor, and from then enmity started between the two villages. After this we see that Gunnar and his army are in the forest. They were sitting in camp and it was found out that today they had come to take revenge of years ago by attacking Wulfric. But as soon as a soldier went away to relieve himself, Morven suddenly came out of the pond and killed the soldier brutally. Gunnar and his army felt that Wulfric was behind this attack. In a few moments, Morven killed many soldiers and in the end only Gunnar was standing in front of him. He decided to face Morvan without caring for his life. Then we see that some of Gunnar's companions had fled from Morvan and came to another village and they started begging him to open the gate to save their lives. When Wulfric saw Gunnar's men in the village again, he felt that this must be a trick of theirs. That's why he ordered his soldiers to attack, but in a few moments Gunnar reached there running. He had somehow saved his life from Morvan and ran away. He too had come with the intention of asking for help from the neighboring village. Wulfric's soldiers shot arrows continuously and killed all of Gunnar's companions. In the end, only Gunnar survived. Keenan somehow stopped the soldiers and got the village doors open so that Gunnar could come inside. As soon as Gunnar came inside, Wulfric got ready to kill him, but then everyone's attention fell on the blue light shining in the forest and the light was badly tearing a man. In a few moments, the blue light turned red, due to which Morwen's real terrifying form was revealed to everyone and she ran away into the forest. Now everyone understood. It was said that it was Mervin and not a bear who was behind these deadly attacks. After this, the king gathered everyone in the great hall where Gunnar and Wulfric were still standing against each other. Gunnar said that when he swung his sword at Mervin, it seemed as if he was hitting a stone wall. Then Keenan said that it is better to try to kill Mervin in an open area. That is why they will have to lay a trap to catch Mervin. But Wulfric was not ready for this. He said that Keenan is not from their planet, so they should not listen to him. Then Keenan angrily said that you do not have a brain, all your guesses are wrong. First you said that Bha attacked, then you got the entire army of this poor Gunnar killed. Suddenly, without any reason, both of them started fighting, but the king freed them. Then he agreed with Keenan and said that whatever he says will be done to catch Morven. Then the next day, people started making a trap outside the village. They dug a pit several meters deep and dug it from outside. After this, they covered it so that it looks like a normal hut. After this, they put up many poles in the pit and filled it completely with oil. Actually, they were planning to burn Morven to ashes by mixing him in this pit. After all the work was done, the king gave Keenan a job and with this Keenan also became a part of their village. After this, we see that one of the soldiers who were attacked by Morven last night opened his eyes and saw that he was surrounded by dead bodies, but at the same time, Mervin killed him brutally. On the other hand, Keenan and Freya were sitting in his hut and drinking soup. Then Keenan told the real truth of his life. He said that the people of his planet want to rule the whole universe. When they reached to capture Mervin's planet, they destroyed all their species by doing a massive bomb blast. Then they hunted down the remaining Morvis. Keenan was also a part of this army and in return for going on this dangerous mission, his family was to be given a good place to live. After all, the people of Mervin's planet wanted to rule over the universe. After capturing Morwen, Keenan had to go on the next mission. Then he came to know that one Morwen had survived. He hid in the vent of Keenan's spaceship, and this was the same Morwen who came to Earth with Keenan, and now he is killing people here badly. Keenan thought that he himself was responsible for all this, but Freya explained to him that it was not his fault. Then she gave Keenan her family sword so that he can kill Morwen with it and protect the people of the Earth. Tonight they were going to get trapped in Morwen's trap with the help of Gunnar. The soldiers opened the doors of the village, and then Wulfric and Keenan came out and started waiting for Morwen to come. They were not able to see much in the dark, so Keenan threw a burning torch towards the forest, and then he saw that Mervin was standing right in front of him. Then suddenly a priest came and stood in front of him and asked Mervin to return in the name of God. But Morwen beheaded him in a single stroke. Seeing this, Wulfric and Keenan immediately ran away so that Morwen would follow them and get trapped in the trap. Finally, their plan was successful and Morwen fell into the pit, but unfortunately Wulfric's foot also slipped and he also fell into the pit. Then suddenly the outside doors also closed, due to which Wulfric got trapped inside. Here the shooters were about to shoot an arrow of fire into the pit and explode it, but at the right time Keenan took Wulfric out of the small space. At the same moment, there was a huge explosion in the pit, seeing which everyone was surprised. Then we see that a new Morwen came out from behind the group of women, perhaps it was the child of that elder Morwen. On seeing him, there was chaos all around, but Freya herself decided to face him. Soon her father came to help her, but Morwen defeated him in one stroke. Then suddenly Morwen, the pit dweller, also jumped out burning and attacked the common people in a very angry mood. Wulfric and Keenan tried to fight him together, but even they could not stand before him. Then Gunnar came to help them, but Merwin beheaded him with a single dart of his tail and again ran towards the jungle. At the same time, Eric informed Keenan that there is another Merwin whom Freya is facing alone. Keenan immediately ran to help her, but on reaching there he saw that Freya was crying with her father's dead body in her lap. Then Keenan encouraged her. Then the next day we see that all the villagers were leaving the village in fear of Morwen. Eric told Keenan that he wanted to stay with him in the village, but Keenan explained to him that this area is no longer safe, so he should leave with the rest of the villagers in a boat. He promised Eric that they will definitely meet again. Keenan went to Wulfric. After the death of the king, Wulfric was the next king, but he was very disappointed to see the destruction all around. And then Keenan encouraged him and said that both of them together will finish off Mervin so that the villagers can once again live happily. Then Keenan entrusted Boromir with the task of making new weapons. After this he went to the pond with Freya and Wulfric where his spaceship had crashed, and then he went into the depths of the water and searched for things of his use. During this time suddenly he saw Mervin in the pond. He immediately came out of the water, but the boat in which they had come was completely broken. Wulfric was lying unconscious on it, and there was no trace of Freya. On the other hand, Boromir was busy making a new spear. Soon Keenan came there and took the spear from him and entered a well where a secret path went under the ground. His companions also followed him and they started moving forward slowly. On the other side, Freya opened her eyes in a cave. She got very scared because she was lying in a pile of corpses. As soon as she tried to escape from here, Mervin came in front of her. But then he got a hint of Keenan and his companions coming and he left Freya and started searching for them. On the other hand, Keenan and his companions had entered the cave where there was a pit full of boiling lava in front of them. Soon Morwen attacked them, then Keenan and his companions also started facing her without caring for their lives. They killed the younger Mervin, but in the meantime the other Morwen killed Boromir. On the other hand, Freya also got up and an injured Morwen came in front of her. He was unable to see now and started trying to find Freya only through sound. On the other hand, Keenan and Wulfric were calling Freya from the other side of the wall. On hearing their voice, Mervin attacked at the same place and Freya saved her life by jumping at the right time. Now due to the attack, a small hole was created in the wall and Freya had to go over it to reach Keenan, but this hole was very small, so Keenan called Freya. At last Freya and Keenan were together once again, but instead of being happy they were looking at the pile of corpses in the cave which made both of them bloody. Then they heard the sound of Morwen coming and they ran, and then Mervin came there and saw that her son was dead, so she was filled with anger and thirsted for the blood of Keenan and his companions. On the other hand, Wulf, Keenan and Freya ran from the cave and reached the top of a hill, but it was very difficult to get out from there because their feet were slipping on the hill. Freya tried to get down, but her feet slipped and Keenan saved her by holding her hand at the right time. Meanwhile, Mervin suddenly came there and attacked Wulfric fatally. Then Mervin picked up Wulfric and threw him towards Keenan and went back into the cave. Keenan went behind him with his sword and cut Mervin's leg. He saw blood flowing in front of him, and then we see that Morwen was about to pounce on Keenan from behind. But at the right time Freya attacked Mervyn from behind, and Keenan turned at the same time and attacked Mervyn continuously. But Morwen dragged him to the top of the hill while Freya was holding him from behind. Keenan picked up his sword and with one last attack cut off Morwen's hand, due to which he fell into a deep ditch. After this, both of them fell down. He went to Wulfric, who was badly injured, and asked if Mervyn was dead, to which Freya and Keenan agreed. Now he and Freya were very proud of Keenan's bravery. Finally, while dying, Wulfric gave his locket to Keenan, which meant that after Wulfric, Keenan would be the next king. After this, he gave the good news of Morwen's death to all the villagers, and then Keenan kissed Freya. By marrying Freya, Keenan became the new king of the village, and he adopted Eric. Now Keenan stayed here forever with his new family on Earth. If you like the video, then like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.